Greetings from Zoom land. This is the History Department's contribution to the virtual open house. In this presentation, I'm just going to go through very quickly the kinds of things that you can expect when you come to Ryerson. In our program, as you can see from the first slide, we have a history honors degree, an undergraduate degree, and we also offer double majors with English, philosophy, politics, sociology, and crim. For other students who are in different programs, we also offer a minor in history, and starting up this year, we have a brand spanking new CoOp program. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about a number of things: why study history, give you an idea of some of the history professor talent, and why do a history degree at Ryerson as opposed to other places, and then perhaps to share a little bit of the student experience. For those of you who are watching this video, I suspect you already have a pretty good idea of why we study history. History enables us to make sense of the past, and I think is determined, of course, by the questions we raise in the present. And that's, of course, also linked to how we might make for a better future. In terms of more practical reasons to study history at Ryerson and elsewhere, is that history also enables us to develop a really useful practical skill set, a skill set that can be taken out into the real world and applied to a wide range of professions. Business, law, teaching, public service, a whole host of different venues of employment are appropriate to a history degree. At Ryerson, we are a small department. We have about 19 full-time faculty, but we have a pretty good, I suppose, geographic range. This year, we're hiring in the field of the African diaspora with an emphasis on the Latin American and Caribbean region. But we do have faculty who are experts in Indigenous history, ancient history, history of science and technology, looking at the ancient world and the modern world, international relations, a very strong Canadian and American contingent. And then we have a whole host of other areas and temporal periods that are covered. I suppose you might also want to get a sense of who we are. History faculty is, as I say, small, but we do a wide range of things. Now, this is kind of an excruciating little self-promotion slide. That's me, me on a better day, and in a context where I'm actually in the real world, not in front of a silly computer screen. But my name is Dr. Joey Power. I'm the undergraduate program coordinator for the history department, but I'm also one of the longest standing members of faculty at Ryerson. I go back to the days of the Polytechnic, good grief. I teach in historical methods, non-documentary source material. I am an oral historian with a certain expertise in oral tradition and garnering oral histories themselves. My research area is 20th century Central Africa with an emphasis on Malawian history. Malawi is a very small but most significant country right smack in the middle of Central Africa. And I am currently working on the link between chiefly governance or traditional governance and democracy. This slide features Farzan Vegetani. He is one of our newer tenured faculty members. Farzan just recently came off a year of unpaid leave down south at Harvard, you know, one of those lesser universities. Anyway, Farzan is an expert in the Middle East and the Near East. He works on print culture in Iran and the link between that and nationalism. He also has recently begun working in North Africa, in Morocco, and has a sort of side interest in tea houses and how tea houses become loci of political and social change in modern Iran and elsewhere. Dr. Jean Lee is a historian of Second Intermediate Period Egypt. She is particularly interested in the identity formation among elite Egyptian women in the ancient period. And recently, she's also a dirt archaeologist, I should say. So she has a dig site in the Middle Nile, and recently actually partnered up with another group of scholars and students at Ryerson to experiment with the use of robotics in undertaking dirt archaeology and actually deploying some of our more modern technology to explore the ancient past. Dr. Ingrid Haymeyer is a historian of science and technology. Her most recent publications are in medieval water systems in pre-Islamic Yemen. Her field work has been in Yemen. Of course, she's had to shift her area of interest and was recently setting up an archaeological site in Iran, which sadly was cut short by COVID-19. But she is a historian of agriculture, water systems, and also has a degree in pharmacy, of all things. Dr. Haymeyer is one of the faculty members who has undertaken to assist Ryerson students in going to a special summer school in Istanbul, in Turkey. That, of course, has also been kind of suspended for the moment, but we hope that we will be able to get back to that. Why come to Ryerson? We do have a rather unusual degree at Ryerson. We are only 8 years old. We're undergoing our very first program review. We do have an unusual, I suppose, and I should say unusual because that makes it sound peculiar, but we do have a distinct, let's say, or unique program set up. It's career focused, and this is the way in which we have designed our curriculum. It's scaffolded in such a way that the first year there are all the common platform courses, which if you decide, you know, we hope you won't, but if you decide that you actually feel more comfortable in, say, English or sociology, you can shift to major in English or sociology, provided you have the marks, of course, and you will not lose any of your credits that you've done in your first year. Our distinctive features of the Arts Common Platform courses I've mentioned, but we have a co-op program which we're launching in 2021. That will be something that students at the end of their first year will apply for. Not everybody gets to do the co-op, but it is based upon not just your GPA, but also your letter of application. The co-op program allows for 3 work terms over the course of your undergraduate degree, which is paid employment that gives you practical hands-on work experience. We also have in the regular program, not just the co-op, but the Historian's Craft courses. And these are courses that are specifically dedicated to teaching you what you need to learn in order to do historical research. Some of the courses are mentioned on the slide. I teach the Hearing, Seeing, and Speaking History course, which looks at different kinds of evidence to the usual documentary sort. So their students are introduced to, for example, object analysis, material culture, archaeology, oral tradition, oral history, the deployment of soundscapes, and a whole range of different kinds of sources that can be used in resurrecting, retrieving the past. There are other dedicated courses in archaeology and material culture at a higher level, a course in oral history and archival research, even history and new media. Our program also has in the final years a set of capstone courses, senior seminars in various different geographic and temporal topics, depending upon the profs that are actually teaching them in any given semester. We do have an option for students to get their teeth into an extended essay or a thesis, which is, a sort of a capstone for an honors degree. And finally, there are experiential learning opportunities on the slide listed as internship courses, where students can work in the real world. This is not paid work like it is with the co-op, but these internship courses can take students to living museums, to archives, to various community partners around town so that they can gain some hands-on experience in how their history skills might be translated into a work environment. Heritage management is also something that Ryerson takes quite seriously. On the right, you see a slide of one of our students who worked at the Toronto Railway Museum as an intern. But we have dedicated courses in museology, curating, and managing heritage resources. As I said, we also have the opportunity to do a double major. For our students, there are a number of opportunities for spreading your wings beyond Ryerson, although we have to wait before, until we're out of lockdown, I guess. There are opportunities to study abroad in the Netherlands, UK, I've already mentioned Turkey, and more recently in Germany. And of course, there's also the opportunity for you to get out there and establish links with an international partner. The CoOp, as I've said, is launched in 2021. I've listed the link there on the slide. If you're interested in the CoOp, I suggest that you check out the CoOp website. This is a pilot project, but we're pretty confident that students will be interested and motivated to take up the opportunity to engage in paid employment over the course of their undergraduate studies. This has the double advantage of putting some money in your pocket, but also giving you valuable hands-on work experience, which helps to flesh out that CV for when you decide you're going to go out and look for permanent employment, perhaps after your BA. There are a number of extracurriculars. There's an alternative spring break that, again, in the days when we used to be able to move around the globe, has taken students to a wide range of places during the spring break, where they undertake a host of activities. Students have gone to India, to Uganda, and to Central America. There's also a history society, which puts on various events and organizes speakers to come in and share tips and tricks on career preparation. And of course, there are awards and prizes that are organized for our students. This is the alternative spring break organized by Dr. Koslenko, and this just gives you a visual take on the various different venues that students have been able to visit for spring break. The History Society, as I say, undertakes a whole host of different activities they've organized. These are only a few of them, and we hope very much that you'll be able to get involved. Ordinarily, we would have some students able to speak to their personal experience. So perhaps you should come to our next virtual open house, which will be in the new year. And finally, what can I do with a history BA? Well, I hope that this brief introduction has demonstrated that you can do almost anything with a history BA. I suppose you could even learn how to fly a balloon. Not quite sure what this slide means. The sky's the limit. Thanks very much. We hope to see you at Ryerson, and ideally in a venue that will be in a bricks and mortar classroom where we can actually engage with our students face to face. Until then, we will see you virtually. Thanks very much for tuning in, and all the best.